Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our last Arc 4 reading for the time being. Next week, we start up Arc 6, so we hope you're very excited. We're coming at you today with Chapters 7 to 9. I will change that picture in a second. Everyone, you should be able to say hello now.
Hello now.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yay! Okay, it worked. Woo! All right, as always, we're going to start with our introduction. So, Al number 1 Stan, take us away.
Hi, I'm the Al number 1 Stan again, and Connor isn't here to stop me. I'm here. I'm the number 1 Al Stan. You can't stop me.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And I am Gold. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another weekly live reading stream.
Woo! I'm Kyles. You know me for Amelia and other things. Yeah, I'm here. Woo!
And then
Okay, he's muted. I guess I'll go. Hi, I'm Zayaldi. I do stuff and read and make the funny voices. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And I'm Wolf. Hello, everyone. I voice Subaru, but most importantly, I voice Liliana.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. That'll happen again, I'm sure.
No.
You know, I can't wait for the day I get to reunite with my favorite voice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What arc like something 11 or whatever.
Yeah, right. Arc
Liliana
10
just shows up.
Yeah.
Come on in, Unseen Hand. We have a Roswaal though, but
Yeah, I'm Roswaal. As per usual.
and last but not least, Zash.
Hi, I'm Zash. I'm playing Otto, the world's worst meat shield.
All
And
right.
yeah,
Yes.
that's everybody, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. I keep forgetting we're on your account. It is. Yay! How are we all feeling about Arc 6 next week?
I'm excited. It's real good, and I think we'll have a lot. It'll be quicker than we expect,
Yeah.
and a lot more dense. I mean, the cast is very compact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun, and everybody who's been excited to see and hear Arc 6, it'll be a brand new experience for everybody. You know,
It sure will.
even if you know what Arc 6 is like, to having it retranslate a little bit, tweaked, for readability's sake, and also with all the gorgeous art that we have in the works. I mean, man, you guys don't know. It's a
You're
lot of
not
exciting stuff.
ready.
You're not ready. It's gonna be.
I
so
think
good.
everybody will be very happy, and hopefully we'll have a lot of people coming in, and it'll be a more robust thing. These readings that we were doing for Arc 4 has been a lot more casual. It's been a lot more chill, but Arc 6 is going to be something that is approximate to our other works in terms of our adapting Arc 5. If you guys like those, then you'll also like when we're doing Arc 6, because it's going to be the same level of quality, or we assure you.
Woo! Hell yeah! We're all. Well, some of us are waking up. Apologies for the level. Lack
The
of
energy will
enthusiasm.
come. Just be patient.
It will. It will. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so everybody get
Yay.
hyped for that, and
Hype, hype,
we're all
hype.
just slowly getting towards it. We have Nel5 in the chat saying, "Hello, first time I'm catching you live. I literally just finished listening to chapter 4 and 6, so the timing couldn't be better." Well, welcome in.
Hey.
Let's go now.
Happy to see
Welcome.
that people are excited. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for loving this. I know that, it's a trip back down stuff that's already been adapted, and we're doing it over again. So I'm glad that people still find a way to enjoy it, because
Yeah.
it's sort of like a refresher almost, right, guys? Where it's nice having this trip down memory lane, especially all the stuff that we know after reading and doing the podcast for so long, so many new developments, finding all the way back here where it all kind of started. When you really think about it, Arc 4 is where it all kind of starts, like truly starts, I would say.
I'd agree.
And I'm not, hopefully I'm not over speaking when I'm saying that, but I feel like Arc 4 really develops the story in a major way, and it's good just to even see the very beginning of it.
Woo. I think what we're going to do too with Arc 4 is if there's a week for whatever reason we can't get our regular cast on for Arc 6, we'll just come in with the next set of chapters for Arc 4 to keep us going in that Saturday routine. So that way we'll let our cast know that, hey, we're going to switch back to Arc 4. So if you want to show up, you can. So you guys will be getting Arc 4 chapters sprinkled throughout when we can't make an Arc 6 week.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a good thing to kind of supplement our normal reading schedule, just to have something that we do every single week, because recently we've been really trying to get the content out very consistently, and I hope you guys have really been appreciating that. That's a lot of hard work from a lot of people, so I really am grateful. Yeah. Null 5 could do say, massive fan of the podcast too. Been really enjoying hearing y'all's take on Arc 7. Well, speaking of Arc 7, we're almost done with Arc 8 with all of our recordings
Yep.
of the podcast, and we are nigh caught up, and it's super exciting. I finished reading Arc 8 just last night. I was so excited that
Oh, you
went
rushed ahead?
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff going on.
Peak distilled?
I'm still determined to pass you guys. I'm still determined.
Yeah, you still have Arc 9.
Do it
It's,
fast.
I mean, it's
I got 3 chapters in Arc 6.
I'm hard capped that I can only finish Arc 8 within the next week, so you can beat me.
if you go really fast.
I will.
Yeah.
What is that?
You got all week off, so
You bet.
Maybe an arc a day?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bet. I'm like grinding.
That's not
through.
been heard since the ancient days of reading the web novel.
Just you guys wait.
Exactly.
And honestly, Al #1 Stan, I get you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try to find me. Last thing before we get started, we just do arcs 1 to 4 for fun. We do it for fun to voice act everything that's available, and over time we would love to get to the rest of Arc 2 and Arc 3 once we can translate. We do it while we wait for Arc 6 production, and then moving forward 7 and 8, that kind of thing.
I haven't read the book at all. I only finished the anime. Where should I start at? Well, the anime where we're at now is in Arc 5.
3 episodes off.
You guys
we're
can
episodes off
start Arc 5, chapter... Which one is this? Chapter 62, if you want to catch up with our readings and keep going. Arc 5, Chapter 62 is the most recent anime episode.
Yeah, if you guys love our content and you are interested, go ahead and check in our backlog, because we voice acted all of Arc 5. So if you are too excited to wait for the anime to be over, which finishes Arc 5 off properly, you can go ahead and catch up with all of our live readings, and we are onto that. A lot of people are in varying, positions of where they're caught up to, but after that, go to, I think we probably have them linked in the description. We probably don't. Okay.
I have a pin now.
You can go to Witch Cult Translations. They have all of the translated versions of all of the light novel or the web novel content. And that is a great place. It's free online, and you can go ahead and read it there. Witch Cult Translation, just like from the series.
Witch Cult. All right.
True. You gotta go back and listen to Wolf.
Don't complain about Wolfiana. I swear, I shut you down. I just shut you down.
It's awesome.
I'm so glad you think so.
Hello, Anas.
Hello,
I've got
everybody.
one. I'm just glad someone enjoys it.
All your pain and suffering wasn't for nothing.
The OG fan base.
Hey,
loves
I
it.
know it was quite funny, but I can't reconcile the funny.
Okay. Too much pain.
It's
Yeah,
hard to when
exactly.
you were literally like neck deep in it.
Yep,
True that.
I lived it.
Everybody ready to get started?
100%. Who's our narrator for the first
good point.
thing?
I can narrate it.
Okay.
I was thinking that I could, because I'm going to have lines in the next
Oh,
two.
later on, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
go.
so I might as well do it early when I don't have any.
Alright, I'll finish my breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Yes, go ahead. You can do the
Then we
next one, I
have
think, Taildy.
Not Roswaal, Ram and Echidna left still.
That's definitely solid for Tealdi, I guess. I'd say, because I don't see your
Yeah.
other characters.
I don't have anybody.
And
Beautiful.
Skura, you can do chapter 8 and 9, maybe?
I will like to read whatever.
Okay, so for
Let's
now,
see what
let's
works out.
see. Yeah. Okay, we can start with. Go. Sweet.
Is
Okay.
everybody ready for chapter 7, though?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 7, The Test Site. The instant the punk stomps the ground, Subaru gets the feeling the world is tilting. But this is, of course, impossible, so it has to be Subaru getting the feeling. The ground beneath Garfield's feet rips up and flies away, the attack doing nothing more than sending the carriage flying. Faced with the seesaw of force, Subaru gets the sensation of being vigorously pressed upwards, the carriage sliding through empty air. All Subaru can do is keep holding Amelia close. The carriage slams back to the ground, its entire frame creaking. This thing isn't a cheap carriage either, it's built for livability and durability, and it's still getting wrecked by this one strike. But now that it's been thrown almost halfway onto its side, it's in no condition for them to immediately start getting away. Facing against something that can do this, they have no option of escape. They're forced to confront this punk. His face is still poked out of the carriage window. Subaru puts his hand to his forehead in pain, having bumped his head with the fall. Luckily, he's not bleeding. Amelia also looks unharmed. Subaru feels relieved at that, which instantly turns sour and hurried as he remembers what the present conditions are. Right in front of him as he looks up is...
Patricia!
who, fangs bared, leaps at the punk, having cleverly unbound herself from the reins. She's aiming for Garfield's neck, intending clearly to tear it to shreds, but...
Exciting choice. You're a good dragon. A good girl, aren't you? You know how they say, the sound of broken bones is just another sign of love.
And Garfield catches Patricia's bite by thrusting his arm into her mouth. But Patricia's whole body, including her jaw, freezes completely still, rather than swallowing Garfield's arm whole. The reason why soon becomes clear as the muscles of Garfield's arm flex. His arm strength is simply strong enough to overpower Patricia's jaw and prevent her from biting down, sealing her mouth shut.
All good, you. Great that you moved right away. Better you're not giving up now. You pass.
Her mouth still sealed, Patricia whips Garfield across the face with her tail. Subaru's taken hits from that thing before and knows the strike isn't going easy at all. But for all the force and hostility in the strike, Garfield easily intercepts it with his left hand, grabbing hold of Patricia's tail. He exposes his beastly fangs as he smiles.
Won't hurt ya. Lights out!
He gives a big wave of his arm, and Patricia flies through the air in an arc so easily it seems like a joke. After revolving through space, she lands softly on her side on the ground. The attack isn't even enough to make the ground vibrate, a complete quick attack on Patricia. Subaru can't believe it, his throat going dry.
He flung away Patricia?
I'm a completely honest guy. Threw her nicely so it didn't hurt her. Now to end this before she gets up!
Garfield leaps from the driver's platform of the carriage where Otto is. Otto leaps up to face Garfield.
But don't underestimate me. I am your everyday merchant too, you see. Do keep in mind that I have hoodlums attack me before in my business. Now, if you would rather not fall prey to the swine family style of hoodlum repelling arts, I would advise you to surrender immediately. I would advise...
Shut up, rookie. Ain't like some no-effect moves of yours is gonna beat the amazing me. Lights out.
Otto strikes a high spirits battle pose. Garfield instantly gets over to him and calmly pokes him in the forehead. Otto crumbles. He goes flying back toward the driver's platform and faints without even producing a single sound.
Now, going from looks, guess you two are all that's left.
Says Garfield, staring at Subaru with a gaze sharp enough to almost rip him to shreds. There's only 4 strides of distance between them. But considering how he closed range in Otto, the distance between them is actually no distance. Subaru can't come up with the conditions he needs to start searching for the solution here, and their only potential counter to this guy, Amelia, is still unconscious for an unknown reason. Most importantly, he has to protect her. And the next instant, Garfield's in front of him. Subaru fully expects Garfield to claw him to shreds. All Subaru can do is offer his own body as the target, turning so that Amelia isn't facing Garfield, protecting her. Several seconds pass. The time feels longer than it really is, and Subaru nervously opens his eyes to see the 5-clawed finger stop there, right in front of his eyes. Garfield's expression looks as if he's seeing something fishy, and he clicks his neck.
Prioritizing protecting her without going for an attack, what's with that? After you get done in, she's gonna get the same treatment either way. Don't think it's a bad call?
It's sound logic, and for various reasons, Subaru can't speak up to refute it. Perhaps uncomfortable with Subaru's silence, Garfield waves his clawed hand about.
And then you're slow to come back. Ain't that I thought you'd be able to move, but man, you're sure nothing useful.
You...
Huh?
Subaru attempts getting some noise out of his frozen throat. Garfield looks even less impressed with him and draws his face even closer.
You're whispering, now speak up.
You're Garfield, right? The one Roswaal and Frederica know.
Frederica?
Garfield's expression loses aggression for the first time. For a second, some animalistic charm shows through, then he instantly hides that with an unpleasant look.
Why is that name coming? No, hold on. That girl you're holding's the silver-haired half-witch?
She's a half-elf. Don't you dare call her that to her face.
With that, your face has gotten all pumped all of a sudden.
The anger at hearing Garfield diss Amelia is enough to make Subaru's fear disappear. Garfield clicks his fangs happily.
Which makes this the rumored Amelia-sama, huh? Ain't any half-witch coming here's around now had to be involved with Roswaal.
You...
Garfield pointedly ignores Subaru, now stressing the half-witch bit. Subaru moves to stand up, but is firmly blocked by Garfield's outstretched hand.
Morons chewing melted iron only feel pain. You got no hope of winning against the amazing me. They even accept the strength gap between us. You know you could really get hurt?
Garfield balls his outstretched hand into a fist, his knuckles clicking. The wise decision here for Subaru is to hold back his anger and wait for a chance to take vindication, thus.
Fuck you!
Huh?
I don't want to get hurt. I'm sure you'll beat the hell out of me. But you know, that's no reason to let disparaging comments that sadden her slip.
He gently settles Amelia on the carriage's luggage bed and brushes the hair on her forehead away with a finger. Subaru stands up and closes the distance to Garfield, coming so close they're almost butting foreheads, close enough to feel each other's breath, within range of each other's arms.
Take back that bullshit moniker and never use it again!
Don't you think you're lacking in too many ways to say that to the amazing me? Across the face, to the guts, and the shins. Want me to beat you everywhere till you got pieces?
Try it! You won't get to do it for free. I'll bite the fist coming from my face, grab the arm coming from my stomach, spit on the leg coming to kick me. I'll give you some payback.
Strong emotion wells up within Subaru's chest as he threatens back to Garfield's threats. That said, Garfield's silent hostility makes a wave of terror run through Subaru. Garfield could literally one-shot Subaru if he wanted. Strong emotion wells up. Subaru judges that Garfield is someone who, of all the ridiculously strong people he knows, has put his efforts into keeping ridiculous combat ability. He's not quite at the level of Reinhardt, the peak, but somewhere around Wilhelm or Julius. Even the tiny threats that Subaru just voiced are not possible for him to actually enact, but even so, he meets Garfield in a glaring match head-on. Knowing he would lose was no reason to retreat, and the reason it was no reason to retreat was right there behind him.
Huh?
Subaru is confused. Garfield moves as if to answer Subaru's doubts.
So Some pretty fine words, those, oi!
Something so slurred I have no fucking clue.
What are you? Ow! What? Ow! Wait, that hurts!
Garfield's shoulder shakes as he laughs, and with extreme force he taps Subaru on the shoulders. It's not an attack, but regardless, enough to chip away at Subaru's stamina gauge.
It's fine, you passed, stuck through all the way. I ain't fond of the half-elf, but I gotta give you an exception to you if you're gonna persist in protecting her that much.
Since you corrected yourself, it's fine, but... No, this really hurts! Stop tapping me forever! You tried to kill me!
Subaru shakes Garfield's arm away and backs off. Garfield tilts his head as he crosses his arms.
Cold, aren't you? Let's call everything up till now, to water under the bridge and forget it. You know, having a small mind's proof the guy's got a small... thing?
That's the first time you've used a saying I actually remember hearing, but there's nothing necessary about that second part! No way! You're Garfield, so it's safe to say you know Roswaal, yeah? And I'm allowed to think that though that sudden run-in was a shock, you're not intending to fight us, though, right?
Stop making a racket, it's annoying. You don't gotta be panicked, I ain't gonna eat ya.
With how violent you were being before, who could just believe that?
Garfield sticks his finger in his ear in irritation, but agrees with Subaru's sentiment. Though it seems like there's a part of Garfield that isn't that easily read, Subaru's relieved that they can definitely communicate. Then he remembers.
Right! We don't have time for this! Media suddenly collapsed, even though we were talking normally until just a minute ago.
Collapsed, did he, that fell? Well, it's obvious. Where do you think you are? Ain't worth the panic.
Garfield shrugs. Subaru furrows his brow in doubt.
You would have heard what this place is about from Roswaal and Frederica, yeah? Then of course this would happen. What, seriously, you really didn't know?
Subaru shakes his head. Garfield clicks his tongue in frustration and mutters.
That fucking pervert bastard. So Frederica didn't tell you anything either. Oh, why, without seeing her, and her personality winds up taking after her owner. No saving her.
Shaking his head, Garfield snorts in irritation. He notices Subaru's questioning gaze.
Got it. Her condition don't look any good, but it ain't anything life-threatening. Said, if you don't want to see her looking in any more pain, get away from here on the double. I'll guard you as far as the village.
She'll come to if we get away from here?
Ain't that just what I told you? Let's get out of here, hey. You're gonna be sleeping here forever? Stand up!
Garfield goes over to the driver's platform and kicks the fallen Otto. Otto, who's been fainted all this time, whines.
You the driver? After I get the carriage back up, right, you're driving us to the village. Take your time and I'll kick your ass so hard your ass caves in.
Actually, what even is happening here exactly? Although, judging from what I just heard, I would figure myself a casualty.
Otto gets up and bitches at Garfield, which is pretty bold when directed at someone who just poked you into oblivion, but Garfield seems to agree with it and looks back at Subaru.
Hey, this guy always so energetic?
Even if you ask that man for a judgment of what I'm like, you're unlikely to get a reasonable estimate, so I would prefer you to stop. Isn't it enough for you to judge this person known as me with your own eyes? And apologize. Please, apologize.
Huh? Look at you getting all energetic and feisty like you're underestimating me. I might have gone a bit ahead of myself and walloped someone who didn't need walloping. So now, you go ahead and get over it.
Can the two of you shut up? Amelia still suffering, so you go grab those reins, and you put the carriage upright!
So, thus starts the chaos as they get to this. Amelia still hasn't woken up, but her brows do faintly scrunch up, and she mutters as if sleep-talking.
Shut up.
Thinking back, I didn't introduce myself. My amazing self's called Garfield. Just Garfield's fine. I'm the strongest man there is. Nice to meet you.
Right. I'm Natsuki Subaru. Huh? What was that? You said you're the strongest? Seriously?
So, the two of them are talking in the carriage as it gets moving. Subaru withdrawing his hand before they can complete a handshake. Subaru is surprised, and Garfield is mystified.
Well, I said it, didn't I? Ain't like there's anything weird about it.
No, it's just that I didn't expect there to be anyone who'd say, I'm the strongest! Completely up front. That aside, don't you think that title's just a little too big?
You really don't think my amazing self's a fitting match for the strongest?
I recognise that you're crazy strong, but if we're debating whether you're the strongest, no matter how I think, there's already someone flitting through my brain.
Reinhard.
Well, whatever. One day my amazing self will prove you're mistaken, thinking wrong with my own two hands. At least for now, keep Red-Nosed Todd-Nos feels the cold in mind.
Even if you tell me to keep that in mind, I don't know what it means.
Garfield seems uninterested in explaining his incomprehensible sayings. Subaru stares outside the carriage window. Amelia, sleeping on his lap, using the opportunity to comb his fingers through her hair. Her expression's already getting more relaxed than it was before.
Well, I missed a chance to ask you about this before. But you know Roswaal, yeah?
You've at least heard my name before, yeah? It's kinda a guess, but it's probably because of the people related to Roswaal. My amazing self's blatantly the strongest.
That wasn't really the point. I do remember you being called someone influential, though.
No way. He's being called influential because of his combat power, right? But Garfield's clearly not the politician type that Subaru expected.
This just gives me more questions to ask Roswaal about Sanctuary. I'm supposed to be acting to find a solution to problems, but everything just points to the number of problems increasing. Oh, what's with this?
Subaru's expression clouds over. Garfield clicks his tongue.
Sanctuary.
Garfield gives a small wave of his hand and turns his head towards their destination. That is, Sanctuary.
You're just calling it that because that's what Roswaal forced down your throat. Never mind you not knowing, but that he didn't tell you or let you know is bullshit.
Honestly, I agree with you. But there's a limit to bad-mouthing people when they're not around or being mean, so let's stop. Did saying that bother you?
Subaru tries to capitalize on Garfield's slip, but instead he gives a somewhat unbefitting, sarcastic smile.
Think it's about time the Sleeping Beauty got up. We're pretty far from the barrier.
What's the barrier? Amelia-tan?
Subaru notices Amelia fidgeting on his lap. Her eyes open dimly, and she absent-mindedly looks around the carriage, her consciousness still not fully awoken, and fixes her gaze on Subaru.
Morning, Subaru.
You're insanely adorable when you're waking up. But now isn't the time for this, Amelia-tan. Does anything feel weird at all? Or does your head hurt? Or anything?
No. I don't feel anything strange, but...
Amelia suddenly gets up with plenty of energy, and Subaru hurriedly turns his face away from her, just barely dodging a headbutt. Amelia remains oblivious to his close call as she glances back at Subaru.
Are you okay, Subaru? I went and collapsed when I said I'd protect you.
You don't need to worry. We somehow made it through! We got successful contact through dialogue! Human connections can come together through the tool of communication, and right here is where we managed to take that first step! I'm a total loner, though.
Amelia looks to be fine, and also super cute, as always.
See? Just like how I said.
Garfield smiles at Subaru, and Amelia is surprised to notice another presence inside the carriage. She immediately gets Subaru behind her and takes a protective stance.
Who are you? Letting you know, I won't allow you to lay a single finger on Subaru.
It's okay, Amelia-tan! Also, I'm begging you, please stop doing things that validate me as the heroine! My gauge is really starting to get there!
he gets himself out of this position of being defeated and goes to face Garfield again.
That's Garfield. Right after you collapsed, he attacked. Came to ride on the carriage. It's not like we've welcomed him into the group, but he'll be coming with us until Sanctuary.
This is Garfield? The one Frederica mentioned?
I'm interested in what you said about me, but I'll put that off till later. We're gonna be reaching the village soon.
The forest opens up, and now they finally see their destination.
Most gracious welcome, dear Amelia Sama and entourage.
His tone is far more scornful than respectful. He spreads his arm open wide as Amelia and Super stare at him.
To the place Roswaal so fancifully calls a fucking sanctuary. The decrepit ruins of a deadlocked test site where a gathering of idiots live out their days.
Test site?
Idiots?
Garfield puts his hand to his mouth and smiles as if to obfuscate his hideously complex feelings.
Us residents call it the Witch of Greed Cemetery, though. Ain't nothing to laugh about, eh, hoy?
He laughs as if mocking himself, quiet, low, like a curse, like a blessing. His laugh echoes throughout the carriage. And hearing that, Subaru knows that if a witch is again putting their sights on Amelia, the one to brush away those sparks has to be him. Sanctuary approaches.
Woo!
Woo!
End of chapter 7.
Done.
Yay!
Nice.
Whoa. Okay, my throat's not that dead yet.
Garfield's tough, eh?
Congratulations.
Yeah, like
Congratulations.
I am legitimately manually drying my throat every single time I have a line.
Do you have water with you?
I do.
Alright, that's
I'm
good.
afraid of running out.
If you have crackers and water, you can alternate.
You need-
That's what I do.
Yeah, you need something like
Ah.
salty or greasy because if you just have water, it'll take the natural oils out of your throat and it'll actually make it worse.
Yup.
Oh, okay.
You need like potato chips or something to actually like help lubricate it.
Interesting hacks with voice actors. Now we have some interesting biohacks.
Tail, these are marathon voice actor too, so
Thanks,
Yeah,
Connor.
she
Tips.
does well.
Yeah,
Very well.
those are little tips from someone who's had to narrate whole chapters for Overlord and do all the voices myself. So
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
translation is certainly interesting, Anas.
yeah, I like how you casually just fixed a couple of F-bombs in there. Good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you have to kind of dance around it a bit. Sometimes they don't even affect the sentence. It's just like you either don't
It's just
say it.
randomly
or-
there. Like I'm putting them in because it's Garfield, but the narration lines. there's
Yeah.
just random F
yeah, the narration lines it's a little unnecessary,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't get
see.
it.
even though it is fun.
And the Japanese don't really have an equivalent for the F-bomb.
Yeah, they don't. Yep.
I see a comment in our chat. One I've been getting a lot recently. Why is Subaru British? If you come in here, I am not going to be kind to you if you do that stuff. Don't do it again. I'm being kind today. But Wolf has been with us since day one. He is Brit Baru. We are not changing that. If you cannot handle a British Subaru, get lost. We don't need you. Thank you.
Wow, skate. That's the mama protecting her cub. You
I ain't
really
his
got.
mother. I ain't his
know.
mother.
Oh, okay, wait.
You know what? I'll play
I was gonna say that's
the
Amelia
mama
protecting
role.
Subaru.
Yes.
The only
not-
Subaru I've known because I haven't
Yeah.
watched the anime. So to me, he is Subaru. So
Tail the
get out of
mama.
that with he's not good Subaru. He is Subaru. The only one I've known. He's best boy. Go away.
That's right.
But what I was gonna
from Amelia
say
and Krush.
is the fact that Wolf is an amazing voice actor. Listen to his work here in our channel, and I feel like there's no way you can find that his accent takes away from his performance at all. In fact,
Totally not.
we've talked about before. It's almost aids it a lot of the times.
Agreed.
So yeah, the annoyance. I mean, yeah, like sometimes that happens where people kind of bring it up. They bring it up often, but just tolerate it. It's just an accent. really, it makes sense when you consider the context of the world. He's a foreigner in the world, you know.
Yeah, he is a foreigner.
Exactly.
It'd be kind of weird if everyone else had the same accent as him.
Mm-hmm.
Even funnily enough, this translation sometimes translate a lot of Subaru's like Japanese isms into
like a British
British slang. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's fitting there too. Yeah. And like it's smart because there's not many ways to translate that into English.
Like that
So like I
distinction?
feel like the distinction of like this guy speaks differently than everybody else. So like it works. And yeah, though it's easy to get upset and frustrated when people kind of talk about it. We aren't singling you out if you're saying that not out of malice, but rather just because you're wondering. But yeah, that's the reason why.
I'm an asshole who singles out.
Sanctuary.
Apologies.
No, I get it. Hey, somebody got to stick up for him.
I'm very flattered, thank you guys.
He's
But
blushing on the side.
you don't need to defend me that hard. I appreciate it.
Take it, bitch, take it.
It's totally
At least
alright.
it's not French.
Yeah, at least you're not French or something. Quebec Subaru. No, I can't.
Oui,
I can't.
Amelia Tan. E-M-T?
That was just.
What's wrong with you? Are you British or something?
What's that weird accent?
God,
No, that's Australian. No, wait. French?
when Garfield sees Subaru, you some kind of immigrant, bud?
We don't
What, are you
take
kind of
kindly
you
to
some
those
kind of
guys.
foreigner?
Omelette du fromage.
What the hell's an omelet do for my?
Oh,
It is a cheese omelette, you uncultured swine.
I can picture Garfield picking up random phrases like that from Subaru, though. Like, if Subaru said omelette du fromage randomly, he would start saying omelette du fromage.
He pretty much picks up different types of sayings from Subaru all the time. A very
Yeah.
consistent thing in the story is like everybody that interacts with Subaru at a certain point starts saying English, Japanese words like oh, that's not very smart of you. Like later on in this arc, even Roswaal says smart, and like
Yeah, and
that's an
then
English word.
Garfield later on has the
The boss always says the best offense is a good defense or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
the Subaruisms. They spread.
It's very good.
All right, you guys ready after that rant for the next chapter? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We love it.
Hell
We love
yeah. Who's our
Yes.
narrator coon today?
I can narrate.
All right. Skur's turn. Tealdi, should we slot you in for the last chapter then?
Can do that.
Okay.
Wait, who's Ram?
Tealdi, would you like to?
I can do Ram.
Heck yeah.
Woohoo!
And then
And even in the next chapter, like I can also do a kid now because I can make the voice different from the narrator voice
oh, true.
if need be.
Yeah, let's do that.
Thank you, second
Okay.
woman.
Woohoo!
I am here.
I contribute.
Yeah.
I do things. It's good.
We get a lot of work here. If you're if you also happen to be listening and you are a femme presenting individual who has a femme voice, we will be looking to help myself, Tealdi, Kiki,
We'll
Fate,
need
and,
more in the future, 100%.
Yes,
Yep.
and Farron
The
and
Arctic live
Ali. So yes, alrighty. All right. And then we got everyone else ready. We got our Garf, Melia, Otto, Ram Roswaal. All right, Skirl, when you're
Rozchi.
ready. Rozchi,
Rusty!
take us away.
Arc 4, Chapter 8. A long-awaited reunion. Subaru pokes his head out of the carriage window to stare down at Sanctuary, which is just a few hundred meters out from where the forest opens up. He sees wooden houses spotted around in the distance, and the place has nothing in particular that grabs the attention. It just looks like some needy village from this distance.
This place is thick with a depressing atmosphere.
The old stone gates at Sanctuary's entrance only reinforce that impression, and the short fence around the village gives the place a closed-off vibe. Hearing that, Garfield forcibly taps his knees.
Sure is. It's a depressing place. Just saying, the people inside are even more depressing. Every fucking anybody's got this gloomy look, like they're living but they're dead.
Pretty disparaging, aren't you? But hearing that just makes this place sound even less like a sanctuary.
Subaru reconsiders what he's about to say.
What would Witch of Greed Cemetery mean exactly?
But Amelia gets there first. Her expression's resolute, but her fingers catch on to the hem of Subaru's clothing. Subaru is fully satisfied with this truth of being relied upon, but simultaneously has mixed feelings, having a guess as to why she's uneasy.
Witch. It's common knowledge that the being called the Witch is the Witch of Envy. The existence of other witches for the other deadly sins is practically unknown to the masses.
What? Really? But wouldn't they have been well-known people for the last 400 years?
What you're saying ain't wrong, Amelia-sama. Yeah, I think Subaru's got it. The Witch of Envy's too famous and overshadowed the others. Most known records are still around about the other witches, but they've been eaten by the Witch of Envy. But, well, still get some exceptions.
And this place would be one of them?
Amelia's eyes are wide, her knowledge on the witch cult somehow worse than Subaru's. Subaru suddenly gets a really bad thought that blows away his carefree feeling. If there's several witches...
There's no way there's a witch cult for every witch, right? Think of how much effort plucking off just one cardinal of sin took. Ugh! Just give me a break!
Going off of Betelgeuse's ramblings, it's safe to say that there's at least one sect that worships the Witch of Envy, Zatella, and then two cardinals that Subaru would be absolutely have to defeat someday. Gluttony and greed would fall into the same sect, but if there were other adherents for other witches as well...
That's a terrifying thought, Natsuki-san, but there's no need to worry.
Different from the witch-ignorant Amelia and the not-quite trustworthy Garfield, Otto's word has credibility and consciousness in the public thought. The things Otto knows are more than likely things any normal person would know.
The witch cult isn't something I'd especially like to speak about, but the only figure they worship is the Witch of Envy. One would hesitate to speak of witches outside of the Witch of Envy.
They prefer the Witch of Envy? What? You mean the others are even worse than the Witch of Envy?
I would mean people are terrified of what the witch cult might do if they hear the name of a witch that isn't the one they worship. Are you aware of the incident in the Empire of Wallachia in the month where a city was annihilated?
Subaru does remember hearing about this, if he remembers correctly.
The Cardinal of Greed destroyed an entire city in the Empire of something or other, all by himself. There was a hero, but even he couldn't stop him.
The details of what happened are excessively boorish and leave a thin impression, but the reason the witch cult did such a thing was terrifying. It was the single most flourishing city of business in the insular Wallachia, but it appears some rumors came about that witch-related items were appearing on the market.
Witch-related?
Even now, it's unclear what it was, but there are more than a few dilettantes out there who would desire such items. But it had just been something related to the Witch of Envy. It could be settled there as a simple being of bad taste. But as a result, the whole city was destroyed.
So greed likely acted either out of desire for that item or to remove it. The Empire of Wallachia stimulated the witch cult, and such a result befell them.
Ever since, it has been taboo to have any involvement with witches outside of the Witch of Envy, so as not to stimulate the cult. Although, that didn't cut off some of the shameless back alley dealings going on.
Huh. It's weird to hear that kind of spite coming from you. It's almost like you were involved in it.
It wasn't anything so big. It's simply that I had some relatives in the city who were dragged into the mess. It would have been over 15 years ago now, and I would have been a child. It has nothing to do with me.
It's clear Otto isn't going to go to this any further, so Subaru gives up on trying anything more on the topic. Seeing that Subaru has had his chat, Garfield touches his hand to his chin.
All satisfied? My amazing self doesn't know the details, but the old Grams and Grands here keep saying the place is the Witch of Greed cemetery to the point it's a Romeo festered from hearing it, so no way it's wrong.
You have no idea how interested I am in knowing exactly what's getting festered, but guess you don't know the specifics either.
My only interest's in my amazing self being strongest. If you want the specifics, you gotta grab Roswaal by the collar and get him talking. Don't know if you can do that now, though.
Huh? What's that mean?
Excuse me. We're just about to arrive, but is it all right for us to simply continue inside?
Nah.
Garfield hops out of the carriage.
Go in without saying what's going on, and all the jitterbugs will see outsiders and invaders going full on attack. And it'll be straight perforated Magmarin laughing.
Okay, leaving it to you. Actually, thinking about it, that'd make your position here something like Sanctuary's patrol. Going by conditions when you ran into us.
Garfield just waves the question away, refraining to answer. Subaru knits his brows at this, but Amelia goes, in surprise, which captures Subaru's attention. He follows Amelia's pointing finger with his gaze to see someone standing.
Turn, Garfield. You certainly didn't take your time.
Didn't have to make an round through the forest. Not often I see you away from Roswaal, huh? Finally sick of it?
Such a thing to be truth, this place would surely be little more than burned out ashes, set aflame by my desperate hands. Express your thanks to Roswaal-sama that no such thing has happened.
That's incredible logic, I don't get it at all!
It's Ram. Garfield's smiling happily at her, but Ram's expression towards him is cold and not particularly full of emotion. Seeing it makes Subaru's shoulders go lax in relief.
Ah, so she would be the older sister I've heard about. I see. This is kind of self-evident, but she looks exactly like this sleeping young lady.
Since Otto's never seen Ram before.
Ram!
Subaru leans forward, waving his hand at her, and Ram notices him. Her eyes narrow as she stares at Subaru, and she shrugs, shaking her head.
Would not know how far a territory your noble considerations have broached, Barusu, but your late arrival is certainly disappointing. Had you noticed the irregularity sooner? Barusu could never manage that.
If you're gonna say, a territory with your noble considerations have been broached, stick with that tone the whole way, don't change it! Also, this goes for Roswaal too, but it's tough to figure out, you know, what it is you two want! But you're sure good at complaining afterwards!
Ram droops her shoulders and then looks at Amelia, standing next to Subaru. Amelia is also relieved to see Ram safe, but Subaru manages to catch a fleeting instant of pain that runs through Ram's expression, but the instant disappears into nothing. Ram welcomes Amelia-sama as well and advises that Roswaal is waiting, so follow her to the building in the back. Garfield, the driver somewhere appropriate. Garfield complains about being turned into the errand boy and that there are some ways of asking for things that actually make people motivated to do them.
If you would like to eat my homemade cooking, endure it. Although I have nothing to say if you would rather squander this exclusive chance through your own actions and verbal airs.
Fine, fine. You ain't an incomprehensible lady, but that's a good thing. Oi, driver guy, park the dragons in the carriage at the end there and follow me.
I'm fairly certain I did introduce myself properly, so would you please stop with the humiliating moniker? Or, actually, being left alone with this man would place me in not insignificant danger.
Subaru shoots Otto a thumbs up.
I'll pick up your bones!
That is unmistakably not a phrase you would say to convey anything positive. Seriously, if something does happen, I'll be claiming for compensation.
Otto goes and parks the carriage and accompanies Garfield deeper into the village. Subaru rubs Pachache's snout for a bit and watches her off.
Now, there's lots of things I want to ask and talk about, but am I really going to get to have a conversation in that vein anytime soon?
Has not been granted for me to speak on matters. More desirable is that you converse directly with Roswaal-sama. I haven't an idea how far Garf let his mouth slip, however.
Garf? Oh, Garfiel! He's a lot different from the impression I had of him when we all knew his name. Which reminds me, there's something kind of bothering me.
What is it?
Ram's brows knit and her gaze is strict, but Subaru just crosses his arm.
Does he love you? That's sort of what it felt like from what he was saying.
And just when I began to wonder what you'd say.
Ram sighs, sincerely dumbfounded at that one. But since she didn't deny it, Subaru can't hold back a seriously out-of-place grin.
I won't say he's got strange tastes. You look cute. And I think he has the willpower to keep loving you over a long period of knowing you.
That there are males in the world captivated by my abounding intellect and beauty is unavoidable. Although, I have already devoted my all to the one I should devote my everything, so I wouldn't say I desire it.
Ram turns her back to Subaru and begins escorting. Subaru is kind of thrown off by how smoothly she crushed Garfield's dreams, and terrified of bringing up the topic that he really shouldn't bring up.
Being scared of bringing up Rem's name when it's this late already. It's not like I'm expecting anything.
He's terrified of confirming it. There was already Amelia and Petra, but now he's asking whether her biological sister's forgotten her.
I can't help being depressed at the assumption. Anyway, let's follow Ram, Amelia-tan. What is it?
Ever since Amelia had gotten out of the carriage with him, she's been looking around the surroundings, seemingly unable to calm down. She just shakes her head.
It's kind of just like I can't calm down. What's it called? Like, I have a weird feeling, or I don't really know how to say it.
Can't calm down? For me, who kept home out of people, anxiety, everywhere new has this kind of feeling, but I don't really feel anything especially bad here.
Subaru joins Amelia looking around the place, but the only real impression he gets is one that's some needy old village. The age and lack of repair works on houses stand out more compared to Arlem Village, but the difference is slight enough to be chalked up to measurement error. But that's not saying there's nothing uncomfortable about this place. Subaru doesn't understand what exactly it is either.
We've got no choice, even if we put our guards up, Amelia-tan. Ram and Roschi are here, so all we can do is say that there's probably no danger.
It's not exactly putting my guard up. No, I'm okay for now. But honestly, I wish I could have talked about things with Puck.
Amelia touches the green crystal at herself, seriously uneasy about Puck's absence. Subaru's not fond of seeing her weakness. or himself for not being a presence that could be relied upon for her.
Subaru?
Let's go! No matter what happens, just leave it to Meat Shield 2!
Subaru takes her hand she used to touch the crystal, turning his head away as he speaks, and starts walking before she can object. Amelia, of course, is forced to follow behind. Subaru figures that what he just did was something liable to make flames sprout out of his face with how embarrassing it was, but his emotions acted quicker than his thoughts. Funny enough, it seems not thinking is fine.
Yeah.
Amelia doesn't shake her hand free. So the house in the wind upgoing is comparatively more preserved than the other buildings in Sanctuary. Made out of stone about the size of an ordinary single-story house in the original world. Its rooms are divided in a simple floor plan that's comfortable enough place, but for Subaru, who's gotten accustomed to Roswaal's mansion and Cruchet's mansion, it feels cramped.
Hello, Amelia-sama. Subaru-kun. It feels though it's been quite some time since we last seen each other,
And there's Roswaal, smiling relaxedly and waving at Subaru. It's the first time Subaru's met Roswaal face to face since going to the capital. Considering that he hadn't run into Roswaal at all during the last cycle of loops, that makes it closer to a month than Subaru time. Now, Subaru's done plenty of grumbling over Roswaal over that time, and had thought to give him that slap across the face as the first thing he'd do upon their reunion. But
First of all, that you're safe is more important than anything, Amelia-sama. I heard about the problems around the mansion from Ram. Should anything have happened to you, I'd surely have no will to go on living.
If that's what you think, then you should have had a less terrible preparations in... no more. Importantly, what the heck happened with you? What exactly is this?
Roswaal's laid on the bed, his entire body covered in not superficial wounds, blood-stained bandages wrapped around him. Faced with Subaru's question and Amelia's silent gaze, Roswaal uses his relatively uninjured left hand to flip up the bandages over his left eye.
Oh dear, you asked about these? You are aware I'm still a man. Simply exposing such a disgraceful sight is enough to wound my pride, so I'd appreciate it if you could understand my feelings and put this aside.
There's no way we could do that. What really happened, Roswaal? To get injured like that? And especially when it's you?
Amelia's fingers tremble as she reaches out, hesitating to touch the wounded Roswaal. Roswaal gives her a bitter smile and looks up at the ceiling.
Now, just where to begin? Well, these injuries of mine could perhaps be called wounds of honor, although such would have a strong implication of being unavoidable by my dignity, is how I would like to answer.
Stop trying to get away with your roundabout speech. I'm asking you seriously. Roswaal, answer me back seriously.
It appears even Amelia-sama is not in the best of tempers, but considering where we are, perhaps there's no avoiding that.
Subaru feels some discomfort at Amelia's stern tone at the exact moment Roswaal points it out. Amelia's eyebrows raise slightly, and she frowns a little at the recognition of what he's pointing out is true.
I feel like I just can't calm down. What in the world is this place? We're calling it a sanctuary? But I can't think of it like that at all. Which would make this place...
A witch's cemetery is a much more easily agreed term for it.
Roswaal's tone drops. Amelia looks towards Subaru, her emotion incredibly complex, and Subaru nods to her in recognition of her confusion.
Wait. Let's sort all of that at once with what we want to ask. If we keep talking like this, the conversation's going to go in some jumbled direction, and we won't get anything coherent. We won't even get a single conclusion.
Oh, In the short time I've gone without seeing you, you've become quite good at partitioning boundaries, Subaru-kun. Could you have had some change in your mental state?
If we're going to talk about that, the conversation's just going to go on for ages. So, once I'm done asking you my questions, I'll sum it all up and brag. Ah, right! Just one thing.
Subaru lifts a finger at the joking Roswaal, glaring at him.
We're in allegiance with Krush now. You probably heard about it from Ram, but I hope this makes you feel satisfied for leaving me behind.
I am definitely satisfied. You truly were a find.
Subaru sighs and closes his eyes at the satisfied Roswaal. Subaru expected this, but it looks like his actions have just been going exactly with Roswaal's intentions. Anyway.
First, the people from Arlem Village. Ram was fine, so they're probably okay. But are the evacuees actually fine?
You can relax about that. Perhaps my current situation doesn't make this sound credible, but I do have my position as Lord. I wholeheartedly work myself to protect my people. Everyone's living in the village cathedral.
The cathedral? Putting that off for now. The next point would be...
Relieved that this at least be confirmed, Subaru shoots Amelia a glance. She nods.
Tell us about this place. You called it Sanctuary? But Garfield called it the Witch of Greed Cemetery. Which one is true?
Both are true, Amelia-sama. This is the site of the once Witch of Greeds of Echidna's End, in a place I personally should call Sanctuary.
Which?
Echidna?
Roswaal's reply comes quietly, with none of the clownish behavior he'd been showing up until then. What he's saying is unquestionably true. Amelia's breath catches, and after blinking several times...
Witch of Greed. A witch destroyed by the Witch of Envy. A different witch?
Yes, exactly. No matter where you look in this world's history, her name remains nowhere, except narrowly, in the memories of those who knew her.
Wait! Isn't what you're saying weird?
Somewhat overpowered by Roswaal's gaze, which has one eye narrowed, Subaru continues.
If my memory's right, the Witch of Greed was done in by the Witch of Envy 400 years ago. I can agree that this is the place which that witch met her end 400 years ago. But there's no way. It doesn't sound like you knew her yourself.
I wouldn't say that I myself knew her. It's a kind of spoken legacy passed down through the Mathers family, through the Roswaals for generations.
Spoken legacy? Then the head of the Mathers clan from forever ago had some connection with the Witch of Greed?
Echidna.
Huh?
Amelia's eyes open wide. Her gaze fixes on Roswaal, and after muttering, Echidna, once as if in confirmation,
Go ahead, refer to her by name. Don't you think the address Witch of Greed has a nasty aura to it? And it's cumbersome.
Right. So the site of Echidna's End is in this village, which the Mathers family has been managing for generations? Is that it?
Yes, that would be it. Although managing implies more hands-on dealing with it than there is, Echidna's influence still remains here thickly, so entering without taking the proper methods is not possible. That you have been able to enter means Frederica assisted you, I am sure.
Roswaal nods. Subaru steps forward to get the conversation moving.
I get that this is Echidna's cemetery, and that it's under your management. What I don't understand from there is its purpose, and why you and the villagers haven't left.
This may sound strange coming from me, but you sure accepted that easily. And just when I'd been keeping this place as being a witch's cemetery confidential.
The Witch of Envy's another thing, but I don't know about whatever this witch echidna did. Being frank, it's probably something that even people who aren't me barely know about either. I think it's way too simplistic to suppose someone's just evil just off the word witch. Do you think it's possible, just going off the word half-elf, to imagine how cute Amelia Tan is?
Don't say anything unnecessary. Surprise attacks are off limits.
A red-faced Amelia lightly pinches Subaru's side at how the serious talk casually turned into flirting. Subaru smiles wryly at the adorable counterattack, and Roswaal laughs disgruntlingly.
It seems you two closed quite some distance between yourselves while I wasn't watching. I wondered what on earth you'd do about the breakup you had at the Capitol, but seems you did well.
It's a sort of love that came at the end of a lot of up and downs, though. I've got mountains of things to brag about, but let's get back on topic and get these answers. What's this place's purpose, and why haven't you left?
It feels you've lost your immaturity and become dependable. Gosh. Now, the reason the villagers and I haven't returned. Speaking plainly, perhaps you'd say we can't go back to going back.
Can't go back to going back?
Subaru's brows knit. Roswaal nods and smiles.
Currently, every one of us, all the villagers in a state of confinement. And the moment you entered here, you two wound up being in the same position.
End of chapter.
Woo!
Yeah.
Dramatic music sting here.
Yeah, insert dramatic sting. Open soundboard.
Bass boost Roswell's last line.
Yeah. Add like 10 vine booms.
Zawada!
We can't go back to what?
Going back!
To the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
The turkey's off the menu.
It's so good to have Roswell back.
Roswaal. It is.
He's certainly a fun character.
I've missed
drag
you voicing
vowels.
him, Gold. You capture his energy so well.
Thank you very much. I like playing him. He's fun.
All the dragged vowels.
Yeah, the extended
makes me
vowels are very
think.
funny.
Makes me think about like how tough it must be for the actual like official dub because they have to also align with the lip flaps.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Ugh.
That's true, yeah.
Poor Roschi.
It's tough being Roschi.
Stop being a clown.
The two clowns at the mercy of fate.
It's tough being a clown without a circus, okay?
Yeah.
What does he have,
He has
then?
to be
Just
the
his
whole
form?
circus on top of it.
Yep. It's tough.
The entire circus.
Now, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
he has
that's
to-
true.
He kind of has to be the one clown when both Subaru and Amelia are staring at him with just
Yeah.
derision.
It's like, haha, you both kind of don't like me.
Hee hee, I know more than you know. Haha.
You know nothing, you peasants.
It's like, Roswaal, what do you know? What haven't you been telling us? Clown emoji.
Yeah, it's
It
pretty
just says
accurate.
clown emoji, it just pops up.
Yeah.
Or just
I
pulls out
heard
one
of
of
something
those
called an
little bike boards
emoji
and
from you,
pops it at him.
Subaru-kun.
What is this texting I've heard so much about?
What is this skull emoji? Oh man.
I returned.
Subaru.
Great work, everybody.
Yay!
Pudgy.
I realized the headache was coming on, so I had to run away. I was like half out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Shut
head.
You had some blood in your caffeine system.
Yes, I had too much blood in the caffeine system. Excuse me.
Oh no.
But now the headache will go away. I missed Roswaal.
You missed it.
It was
Oh,
it was
man.
nice. Well, okay, not the character, but I missed you acting as Roswaal.
Thank
was
you.
nice.
I mean,
Not the
he's very
character.
fun. He's very fun.
Fuck
I think
Roswaal.
I wish he
No, that's what he wants.
you know
Oh my god!
yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things about Roswaal is that he's very captivating when he shows up in every scene that he's in, you know.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things. So it's very fun to play him because every scene is about him when he's there, you know what I mean?
He is the center of the room.
Yeah, he's like one of the characters that just have that presence in the series.
He's got aura.
Aura!
You got some edits, some fan cams of Roswaal, some hype edits.
Hype, hype, hype.
The TikTok AMVs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all run by
Like
Ram.
the 10 zoom ins on his face.
You're right. It is run
That's
by
why
Ram.
she never gets any better at doing her chores, is because she's busy.
Yeah, she's like, well, you see her make a statue of Roswaal. That like she does have some artistic talents, and all has to do with Roswaal. You know.
She just loves her mans. We love that for her. A supportive lady.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think she uses her abilities to spy on him? You know, like just
probably.
plant a bug in his room and then stare through the bug at him as he sleeps.
Well, you doesn't need to stare at him. Do it that indirectly.
Yeah, she could just stare at him as he sleeps. Never mind.
I know you wouldn't mind. He's weird like that. He's freaky.
It's
like
freaky.
He's he's
He knows
he's
about
the
it. He's into
freakster.
it.
Yeah, he's a certified freak.
Wakes up in the middle of the night, sees her. She panics. Oh, I known you've been there all this time.
Yeah. Why do you think I left my room unlocked?
Don't deny your feelings.
You can come back.
No, please come back. I'm into it.
Please, I'm all alone. I've nothing else.
Connor, why did you put that into the universe? Not here adding in cursed content.
Oh,
I feel like Connor's just every fan fiction writer ever.
Yeah, this is his random fan fiction writing going to the
To the next stage.
Leave my angel out of
Ironically-
this.
Ironically, I've seen people theorize the opposite, where it was Ram feels when Rem is thirsting over Subaru.
Oh my god!
That's just from the perspective of people who want
She's
hair
so
bending.
disgusted.
Yeah.
She-
That's why Ram hates him so much.
Yeah,
She's like, ew.
she no longer knows it now, but... Ugh!
It's like, can you, hold on, oh, Rem's, oh.
Can you stop your simping already?
Yeah.
She just starts heaving.
To be fair, Ram simps over Roswaal. Rem sees the simping and is like, "Girl, you're messy as hell. You're messier than I
You're
am.
messy as hell.
You're messier than even I am."
Hey, at least I can
Or
I
she
can fix my
sees,
work.
Or she sees Ram simping over Roswell and just thinks, "Oh, that's how you're supposed to do it."
That seems accurate.
That's true.
Supposed to take notes.
That's true. That's
Not
true.
unhealthy
She's
at
taking
all.
notes.
You see, the actual reason Rem was cut out of the story is because if she faced off against Capella in Arc 5, if she said, "Hey, what if I turn Subaru into a worm, would you still love him?" she'd instantly say yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he'd be my
Instant.
worm.
He'd be too powerful.
I would feed you dirt every single day.
I'd make sure you had the best soil ever. I'd even put mayonnaise in it.
I'd sleep in the dirt with you.
Speaking of the mayonnaise, do you think it's a Kewpie recipe in there? Because that'd slap.
Oh,
It
yeah.
must be.
Do you know when it wouldn't slap? When it's touched all the walls in the bath.
I've made you a whole bunch of mayonnaise.
Not the mayonnaise bath again. No.
If I saw that, I would be like, do you know how much food that is wasting? That is disrespectful to all of the people that are dying out there because I can't eat. Rem!
Roswell's just
It hurt my brain.
Bald Sue, oh my god.
Especially at the price of eggs nowadays.
Look at how much did she have to save up?
Inflation's going up, Rem! What the fuck is this?
I just had to sell my fanfic.
Yeah, true.
Rem, how many eggs did you buy, Rem? Rem, did you just cause the egg inflation crisis?
Oh, I have
like-
a terrible one. She'd probably just be
Single-handedly.
like, you could just use mine.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Single-handedly
Banished.
emptied the whole
You're banished.
Mather's family coffers to get eggs.
Roswell's gone
Ren,
broke.
did you lay this egg?
No. No.
I did for our love,
Yes.
Subaru.
Oh.
Okay, we gotta get back on track.
Ren,
Wait,
there-
one last question. Do they have chickens in this world? If so, if not, where are they getting the eggs from?
ground dragon.
Ground dragon eggs.
Ground
Can you
dragon.
imagine Patricia's just like,
No.
oh look, another one of my babies being eaten today.
Well, if it's unfertilized like a chicken egg, it's fine.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
She just comes in with her little claws,
She a
like with a
dinosaur.
basket.
Let me look this up. Actually, now I need to know.
I harvested my own.
I looked this up and it says there's these witch beasts called knickerboxers that are birds. They're called misfortune birds. They moved into the forest near Roswaal Manor after the Wolgarm were killed. I don't know if you want to eat mob beast eggs though.
Yeah, I was about to say, Marby's flesh is also
Yeah.
disgusting. So
That's
what are
what
the
the-
eggs gonna taste like?
Yeah.
The ReZero Gym Bros of the world. They be guzzling those back.
They'd blend that and then drink it as a shake.
Straight Wolgarm flesh.
Yum, 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 yum.
Sorry for that one.
I've heard curses help you get gains.
Gains for days.
I mean, theoretically, if there's a demi-human that has half of some animal, that animal should exist, right?
It
Yeah.
should.
You'd hope.
Probably.
You think?
There was like
Also-
a sloth. I remember.
Yeah, Slothman.
Yeah,
I
there's
love
Slothman.
Slothman.
Rest in peace.
Slothman.
Rip.
I mean, he's
Oh,
alive.
didn't he
I think.
survive the loop?
Oh, because the loop happened. Yeah, you're right.
Hey,
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
alive, just not in that one loop.
I love Slothman.
Yeah, he is alive. We'll see him. He'll be one of the main characters. You'll see. Oh yeah, by the way, Arc 9, Slothman, he goes hard.
That's
Dude,
This is
he's
why-
gonna go crazy.
it's where the real Slothif begins, baby.
Yeah, Sloth,
It's all
lurking
him.
legend.
There we go. If Frem can't have Subaru, she can have Slothman. I'm so
That's
sorry about
fair.
the squeaking.
What?
You know, if you think about it, I think Slothman's the better option.
I agree.
He's got a stable job,
hot as
he'll
hell.
work,
True.
and he's probably stronger.
He
than
puts in the
Subaru.
work.
Puts in
Oh,
the
he's
work.
definitely
That's a
stronger
good
than Subaru.
man.
And he'd die for the cause, you know? You can't say that about Subaru, right?
Yeah, never. He's too scared
He's
to die.
probably also not randomly saying out of pocket stuff like Subaru does.
Hey, you know, one time out of 100, Subaru actually has some good insight and wisdom from those things, okay?
Oh, but the one thing that he doesn't have is the smell. Maybe Rem's into the smell.
Oh,
Okay, I think we should move on. Because I could.
Nine.
this discussion is over.
Because I will get into being a goober if we keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't even put a pin in it. It let
This-
on the floor, fall into the desk. It's gone.
Grenade is
What?
gone.
Lust if moment 2.0.
We got. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Oh,
yo, we need
speaking-
Slothman in Lustiff, I'm just saying.
We could. Okay, well, let's plug that now. Those of you, the Lust If Fund is actually at $580, $81, I believe. If you want to contribute to that over time, you will get a fully professionally released version of Lust If. We will be rewriting the Petra and Felt ones to have different characters. And we are hoping to also make a male version as well. So if you are interested in that and you want to support us, that's how you can.
Yeah, if that's the way. Hey, if you like that content that we just said, there'll be more of that later.
And professionally done. Mixed
Professional.
everything.
Ding.
Yup.
It'll be,
Ding.
it will not be professional, it will be very high quality.
Professional.
Yeah, I can't.
So
I
we
can't.
don't get sued.
Yeah, we
Oh,
cannot
yeah,
guarantee
fair
its quality, but we can guarantee that it will be done to the best of our ability.
It'll be a Discord exclusive, and I will have all the sound effects, all the mixing, everything.
Exclusive.
Oh,
Exclusive.
no.
And you really just said, yeah, and now we're gonna release the Demon Souls remake on only PlayStation. That's what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
said.
Roswaal for male lovers.
All you get.
Probably.
Yes, that's right, Chill Dice. That's right.
World
We get the
premiere.
knights for sure. We get Roswaal.
Nah, we get Julius.
Julius.
We get
Reinhard,
Julius. We have to get Julius and
Otto.
Reinhard.
Garf.
But most importantly, we get Felix.
Okay, not Garf. Garf is underage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, never mind.
Garf's
Disregard.
excluded.
Banished,
He is
banished,
14.
banished.
My boy is 14.
He can have like what what Ram has in Lestiff, and it's just like here's your paperwork. Bye.
I mean,
That was a bit more than just paperwork.
Yeah, the whole point of that's underlying
Oh.
retention.
Yeah.
That morning was so wild. I couldn't even keep up with the story.
I came back. I was like, "What's going on?"
We did it because you didn't wake up on time.
What are you
Yes,
doing,
exactly. It was all my
Subaru?
fault.
You
It was
caused
all
that.
you birthed this, Gold. This is your fault.
You know the joke about the Domino's meme? Me not waking up that day to everything going on in your life right now.
This is the butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Butterfly.
Thank
Oh,
you
yeah,
for getting the
butterfly
reference.
effect.
Thank you for getting the reference. Kiki and I had butterfly
True,
PFPs
true.
that day.
True.
All right, chapter 9, everybody.
Yeah, should we do some reading?
Shall we move on?
Tealdi's narrator Kun and Kanan Ram.
And
Woo!
Ram. And Echidna.
Do you need me to help you with any?
No, I know I'm going to do for Echidna, so
Oh,
we're good.
Oh, great. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Perfect.
Lock the fuck in.
All right, Tealdi, take it away.
All right. Chapter 9, The Cemetery. So, the word confinement isn't exactly a nice one, and considering the circumstances, it's unlikely to be one of Roswaal's horrible jokes. Subaru and Amelia ask if Roswaal was injured by the villagers. Then, with Subaru reflecting that if there's someone in the village who can actually hurt Roswaal, like, this seriously bad. Since Roswaal's like OP and eradicated a whole forest of Olgarm on his own. Roswaal says it seems they've misunderstood, and he didn't get attacked by anyone, so they don't need to be so cautious or try to get revenge for his sake. Subaru's like, relax, you haven't earned a favorable enough impression for us to recklessly risk our lives for you. Then points out what he's saying doesn't mesh with the fact that he's in confinement. But Roswaal says some bullshit vaguely explaining nothing, and Subaru puts together that Roswaal being injured has nothing to do with the people of Sanctuary.
It isn't strictly that there's no relation, but if you were to ask whether the direct cause was due to them, I would answer no. So that's the sort of thing it is.
So there's an indirect connection.
Tilted, Roswaal blinks at Subaru, looking somewhat daunted. Roswaal gives a small sigh.
It feels like I'm seeing a child who's all grown up.
Subaru touched on what the root of what the situation is, and thinks of what words to use for his next question. But Barusu, would you care to display some sympathy for Roswaal-sama? Ram comes in with a tray of some steaming hot, fragrant tea, which she sets down on the table. Subaru also suddenly realizes how nasty this interrogation of Roswaal is, when he's, like, actually hurt. Have you satisfied yourself with your oh-so-thorough interrogation of this wounded Roswaal-sama? In pain, in agony, on the verge of tears, Roswaal-sama's countenance is drained.
You're telling me to reflect, but that phrasing kills any motivation to do it. And what's with this pained, anguishing, crying personality you set up? Does it fit this asshole at all?
Ooh, it hurts. I'm in anguish. Your words pierce scars into my thoughtful, considerate heart.
Subaru furrows his brows in irritation at Roswaal's stupid little banter play. Amelia clears her throat to get the mood back on topic.
Anyway, it's plain to see that Roswaal's physical condition is less than good. So, let's finish our talk quickly. You haven't had any healing magic done.
As healing magics are outside of my area of expertise.
I'm also specialized in destruction. I can do generally anything professionally when it comes to demolishing, afflicting, bewildering, but not a speck of recovery.
Man, this is terrible. This is one of those make sure you train your support moves as well as offense cases.
That Superboy's games with skill trees, he tends to spec entirely into crazy offense. So we can't exactly be too hard on Roswaal here, and is stuck having a weird kind of understanding of the situation. Amelia sighs.
Puck isn't here, so it won't be my usual level. But I'll administer healing magic for you. I'll need to concentrate for it, so it'll kind of have to be after we're done talking.
The Great Spirit isn't here?
Eyebrows raise, and his eyes narrow. His expression is somewhat cold and definitely an uncommon look for him.
Huh, I've seriously never seen you with that face. You're surprised that Puck's not here? I didn't realise you were a fluff connoisseur.
States that the only time he's ever been in contact where he's been close enough to potentially touch Puck was during the mayonnaise fiasco, since Puck is terrifying. After that little digression, his brows crinkle and he stares at Amelia with his yellow eye and asks if her being off is something coming from a point different than usual. Amelia is confused and said that there's nothing really different except Puck being missing. Her feeling off started happening around the time they entered the forest before getting to Sanctuary, where she felt the reactions from the spirits as being dull. And whenever she's been outside, she's been feeling a weird kind of gaze on her. This is apparently the reason her expression's been clouded ever since they parted with Garfield. Amelia says it feels like she's being stared at, and that it feels so bad. She thought she might have just been imagining it, so she didn't tell Subaru. Roswaal says that Amelia's not mistaken, that this place is uncomfortable for spirits, and that the people living here have nothing but negative feelings towards Amelia. Roswaal's ruthlessness in saying this makes some pain flicker through Amelia's eyes, and Subaru opens his mouth to bitch at Roswaal. But...
Well, say it's about there to leave it off. Don't push someone wounded while round all around that hard. The spotted beak that ran nowadays is hot.
Probably, unfortunately, my level of comprehension isn't high enough to be able to agree with that.
Thing complaining about there being no proper translation of what the hell Garfield is saying half the time. Anyway, Garfield's there leaning on the door, showing his fangs and looking around the room.
Grant's house is meant to be the lightest, but with so many people here, it's all cramped up and stuffy, oi. Made the right choice leaving that noisy guy behind after all.
Now that you mention it, Otto's not here. Did he go home? Did you eat him?
Jin startles Amelia, but Garfield gives a big smile and slaps his knees.
Sure, my amazing self's got some carnivore blood, but nah, he ain't eating. Especially when it seems that he'd just get right noisier when I go to eat him. I was worried about the carriage and the dragons or something. He came up with some random reason and left.
Waves a hand dismissively, plops himself down in a chair, and looks up at Ram.
Eee!
I'll go outside for a moment to gather the leaves. Would you wait for me?
I kinda got an idea where this is going, but what exactly are you planning to do with those leaves?
I have no intention of wasting precious tea leaves on someone who will not recognize either their fragrance or flavor. Would be my answer. And Ram seriously leaves the building. Subaru looks at Garfield. Garfield stares at Ram's exit.
It's worth going after a strong-willed lady. Ain't weird for a male to get drawn in by a strong, excellent female either.
Males and females? We're not sexing chickens here, so can you stop with that chirp chirp chirping at her? She might be like that, but she's definitely a young maiden, that Ram. Which means...
Huh? The hell are you saying? Giving her proper lady treatment, you ain't gonna find better. Saying, first of all, we're...
Garfield's eyebrows raise as he realizes something. His face sours, and he glares at Roswaal.
You bastard, you ain't told him yet. Dude, you just been getting beat up. That'd be a story to laugh at, but since the half-elves, since Amelia-sama's here, it's another story.
Huh?
Garfield's expression just gets more pissed as he snarls at Roswaal.
You knew the problems here'd wrap us into the second Amelia-sama entered Sanctuary. So the hell's this? You still ain't even got to the main point yet. You assholes just come here to have a play?
His anger is directed not at Roswaal, but Subaru and Amelia. And the anger he aims at Amelia is particularly furious. Subaru goes to stand before her to protect her as she shrinks her shoulders up slightly.
Wait, I understand that you're angry, but it's not apparent to us why you've gotten angry. Isn't talking with someone who doesn't understand anything nothing but annoying?
This is what I'm saying I don't like. That the people involved don't even...
The ones looking down on the people involved and pushing things forward would be you and Roswaal. If you're agonising over some problem and want to do something about it, then follow through properly with your accountability here. Asking people to understand you without telling them anything, that's on par with past me for shamelessness.
The pressure radiating off Garfield strengthens. Despite the height difference between Garfield and Subaru, and the fact Garfield's seated, the pressure is so immense that Garfield may as well be an enormous boulder to Subaru. And considering that Subaru is naturally timid, it's inevitable that he would avert his gaze and take a step back here, faced with this. But
Subaru?
Subaru feels dainty fingers gripped on the hem of his clothing. Amelia's voice is laced with reliance, and it confers his knees with strength. Amelia is standing behind him. She's uneasy and depending on Subaru, as if it could do something as pathetic as have his knees give out in front of her. Garfield ends up being the first one to break the glaring match between him and Subaru. He clicks his tongue, leans back in his chair, and furiously runs his finger through his short, blonde hair.
Yeah, fine, yeah, I get it. It's just lashing out before. You're saying I lost my cool, it's my bad, okay, oi.
Nah, I'm not telling you that. But have you ever had anyone tell you your personality's a damn pain?
Emotional vantage point narrows just a little, and he immediately becomes objective again and can admit his faults. Super thinks this is such a difficult personality to deal with that he ends up smiling bitterly rather than being indignant. Garfield gives a punctual sigh.
Got it. My amazing self will shut up so you get the conversation moving. Since the talk's gonna go nowhere if I come in, and ain't that goddamn annoying.
That you can do that much self-analysis and then make a full revolution without changing at all is amazing.
No point in praising me, I'm too dumb to understand it.
Subaru is just completely blown away at Garfield, who snorts. And then Rom comes back and presents a steaming cup of black tea to Garfield. Here is the very essence of terrible tea.
Isn't that line more normally used when you're being self-deprecating?
Rom doesn't give a crap, and Garfield accepts the cup, downing the hot tea in one gulp. Rom gives a deep sigh. As always, you're a man for whom brewing tea is worthless. Not someone suited to me.
This just tastes like leaves. If you're gonna wet your throat, it's just the same as water, yeah?
I agree that tea's just like the taste of leaves, but even I'm reluctant to agree with that out there logic. Ram, are you gonna give him the other cup too?
Gives the other cup of tea she has to Garfield, the tea having the faint color of dead leaf. Subaru notices this, but doesn't stop Ram. In fact, he endorses this.
What? You're pretty on the ball. Pressing you one cup wasn't enough. Oh yeah, so this is just lead soup!
Going to wet your throat. Water, tea, and leaf soup would all be the same, yes? You've tasted some, so do drink the rest. I'll twist it off if you leave any. Says Ram as she glares at Garfield's crotch. This is enough to make Subaru unconsciously cross his legs. Garfield's face twists in anguish as he reluctantly drinks down the cup. Roswaal cracks up.
Are you all worried about my condition and give me a rest? Or are you plotting to make me laugh so that my wounds reopen? If the latter, you've certainly succeeded.
He's actually not bullshitting, and some blood's oozing out from beneath the bandages on his chest, which he lightly presses down on. The relaxed atmosphere changes instantly, and a pale-faced Ram goes over to Roswaal's side, placing her hands over Roswaal's hand, pressing the bleeding down. My deepest apologies, Roswaal-sama. And while I was even present...
Or really, you know this is because of your joking around?
Ram's glare shoots through Subaru, which shuts him up. He zips his lip and looks over Roswaal. The bleeding's there, but it's nothing serious. But probably his wounds had only just been closed up, making this the most essential time for Roswaal to be recuperating.
Roswaal, I'll have to heal.
No, that will not be necessary, Amelia-sama.
Emilia summons spirits, but Roswaal stops her. The spirits waver, seeming kind of lost. And Subaru notices that Garfield is staring at Emilia with eyes so intense it's eerie. Roswaal says that Emilia has more important things to be doing right now, since he's not in any life-threatening condition or anything, so she should prioritize those other things. Emilia's like, there's no way I could do that, leaving behind someone injured to do something else, as if. Roswaal asks if she'd say such a thing even when the matters he's referring to is something necessary for her to secure the throne in the royal election. Emilia's face goes stiff and her eyes open wide. Roswaal's yellow eye gleams bewitchingly, as if peering into Emilia.
This sanctuary is nothing more than a plot of land passed down through the Mathers family for generations. But as far as it concerns your future, Amelia-sama, it holds great, yes, great significance. I had always intended to one day invite you here, although the visit wound up happening somewhat sooner than I'd planned.
It's necessary? But what do you mean when you...
The problem this sanctuary possesses is exquisitely close to the problem you possess. Thus, it is possible you might find it here. Your foundations, that is.
Bruce sees Emilia's expression go stiff, Roswaal seeming to anticipate the reaction. Super gets an itchy, impatient feeling, but before he can say anything, Roswaal points at Garfield.
A role for you, Garfield. Escort these two through the sanctuary. No, escort these two to the cemetery.
Wow. Sure about that?
Theo laughs, his voice low. Roswaal nods and lightly pats Ram's hair as she goes to change his bandages. Roswaal says that it's essential Subaru and Emilia know what the present conditions are, and that explaining can be done after sunset, but not the tomb. Garfield notes that the sun will set soon, but also that this makes the story complicated. Either way, he'll do the escorting. Garfield urges Subaru and Emilia to come along, but Subaru resists since they've gotten nothing out of their conversation with Roswaal, and he wants to keep talking. Ram objects, saying that Roswaal's wounds have opened, and that the priority is to have his bandages changed and let him recuperate. So Barusu, you go to the tomb. She follows up by telling Subaru to calm down since they'll talk once it's nighttime. Roswaal won't be running away. But if you don't go to the tomb by sunset, it'll escape.
I've never heard of such a mobile tomb before.
Subaru feels Emilia's gaze pierce through him, her eyes devoid of strength and wavering with emotion. She's leaving the decisions of what they should do to Subaru. Subaru decides the answer's obvious, and they're going to the tomb. It's necessary, after all. But afterwards, they'll definitely begin a proper conversation with Roswaal. Roswaal's okay with this, and hints that after they've gone to the tomb, they'll have more to talk about. So Roswaal's satisfied, and Ram and Garfield agree, with the two of them moving to start getting to their respective businesses. But before they can, Subaru raises a finger.
Just One more thing. There's something I want to ask you before we go to the tomb.
Alright. So long as it's something easily answerable, go on and ask anything.
Then I'll oblige. Does the name Rem sound familiar to you?
The first one to react to the question is Ram, and not in the way that Subaru desired. She tilts her head as if she'd never heard the word before. While Subaru's in the middle of being dejected with this result, Roswaal mutters the name to himself in rumination.
So?
Sorry, but I don't think it sounds too familiar. It resembles Ram's name, but I'm sure that wasn't you making a slip of the tongue.
Is that right? No, it's okay. If you don't remember, that's inevitable. Inevitable.
And thus did Ram and Roswaal casually destroy Subaru's faint hopes. These are the two people who knew Rem the longest, and both of them forgot her. This truth smoothly settles itself into the cavity inside Subaru, and once again, stronger than ever, Subaru becomes conscious of this. He really is the only one in the entire world with memory of Rem.
Subaru, are you okay?
Says Amelia with a concerned voice as she touches Subaru's sleeve. Subaru savors the feeling of her fingertips as he closes his eyes once and forces his face into a smile so she won't see him looking depressed.
I'm fine. Not like I had any weird hopes. And I did know this could happen. My resolve that I have to do something is firm.
Right. We'll do something. I'll be helping you.
This firm promise heals Subaru's fractured heart. He shrugs.
Restoring Rem means the feelings of love I pour wholeheartedly onto you, Amelia Tan, will get split. Not envious or anything?
If it means the volume of the feelings you give me goes down, then I might be. But that isn't going to happen, since you already said you had my portion and Remsan's proportionally properly set out.
Didn't expect that comeback and winces, unable to reply. Amelia smiles, her face faintly red.
Let's go, Subaru. I want Ram and Remsan to meet each other soon, too.
Right, yeah, you're right.
Having Ram see Rem again would call back her memories, or stir Ram's lost love for Rem. Barusu. And right after Amelia follows Garfield out of the room, Ram calls him to stop before he can follow the two. She's suddenly standing right beside him with replacement bandages for Roswaal in her hand.
What is it? If you're looking for bandage play after I'm gone, you can have all the time you want with Roswaal.
The only one to enter the tomb will be Amelia-sama. You are absolutely not going in. Says Ram, so quietly even Roswaal wouldn't hear it. Subaru's brow furrows. If you don't want to be imprisoned by the spuriousness of the witch, absolutely do not enter the tomb. The air inside the tomb is cool and clear, with a refreshing atmosphere different from what the word refreshing implies, as it welcomes Subaru. His footsteps echo through the tomb with each step he takes, asserting his presence in this place whether he likes it or not. However, the sound of his footsteps in fact brings his heart comfort. Amid a darkness where even just a few meters ahead is invisible, inside a miasma where your own existence feels to be wavering, those footsteps become a kind of rescue. Unaware of where he is and leaning on the tomb's wall for guidance, he walks and walks without getting anywhere. Subaru feels the illusion that he's standing in place, but his footsteps alone defied that and assured him of his advance forward. He couldn't hope to guess how long he'd spent in the darkness already. His thoughts are vague, and his throat is frozen. Despite how far he's walked, no exhaustion besieges him, the sensation in his limbs far too dulled for such a thing. But he keeps walking. He has to keep walking. he must not stop. To stop still was impermissible, as was to fail to move forward. Even when it might seem the weight of the burden upon him may force him to crumble, he absolutely must grit his teeth and continue walking. Because if he doesn't, how could there be anything for her? I see. So this forms your basis. How precisely intriguing. And with the echoing of this voice, the eternal darkness abruptly comes to a close. This void, which seemed a boundless pinnacle far beyond the edge of the world, transforms into a narrow, stone hallway. Beneath his feet is a pile of dust, which mutes any noise of footsteps. And most critically, the filthy atmosphere which seems to be worsening in his chest now spreads. Completely different from the dark world he had just been in, this place was an old ruin firmly possessing a sense of reality. The exact surroundings Subaru had predicted just before he entered the tomb. Subaru is speechless. Someone is there, walking toward him. And that someone is... Sorry that this welcome turned into a bit of a tease. I hadn't planned so, but quite haplessly am I a creature of greed. It's impossible for me to escape what is called the thirst for knowledge. A woman, as perfectly white as a field submerged in virgin snow. Her hair is long enough to span down to her back, pure white as frost. The few areas where her skin is exposed reveal her flesh to be so beautiful as to be nearly transparent. Her eyes host an intelligent gleam, and only her simple outfit is pitch black. A woman symbolizing dichromatism and adorned with beauty. Most anyone would be charmed by her at first sight, but Subaru, standing directly before her, has his entire body assaulted with an overwhelming terror of a like he's never experienced before, even more intense than when he'd first encountered the white whale. The woman's hair sways as she narrows her eyes, and she immediately gives a small, perfunctory nod. Excuse me, I haven't given you a single introduction of who I am. Sorry for these piling discourtesies. It's been a long time since I've had contact with people, so it seems I'm not quite back to form. Different from the tone of her voice, her expression barely changes at all as she shakes her head. She looks at Subaru, who continues to suppress his shivering, as she places her hand to her chest and quietly introduces herself. My name is Echidna, but maybe you'd understand it better if I introduced myself as the Witch of Greed.
Chapter done!
Teal'c chapter over!
Yay! Interesting take on Echidna. I wasn't expecting that. I like it.
When you're in the gulag with Echidna.
I've never seen the anime, so I don't know what she actually sounds like. So it's just like, I need something different enough from the other two. So it's like, there.
Unfortunately, in the
Dracula.
anime, so similar to your voice, but I like that take. I like it a lot.
It makes us just sound so distinct and different. I really like it.
Yeah. Keep it up.
Yay!
Yay!
Sort of
Wow.
fitting in a way.
Yeah, Kai, yeah.
For the the character pursuing immortality to get a vampire voice.
Yeah, I feel that.
Wow.
Welcome to my tomb.
Welcome
suck
to
it.
Transylvania, Subaru.
You opened my coffin.
They said one of the witches was a vampire. You know.
One of them was a
They did say
vampire,
that.
indeed.
Ooh. Wait, I hadn't heard this before.
Yeah,
didn't?
when Elsa is
That was
fighting,
Garfield's line.
Garfield says, "I
Oh,
heard that one of the witches in the past was a vampire."
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. That witch died, so you can die too.
yeah. You can die too.
That's the quote. Yeah.
That's the quote.
Good work,
Thanks,
everyone.
Garfield. Very cool.
Garfield, he's got a lot of that
Thanks,
knowledge.
buddy.
I love how dumb
He's-
he is, but also how well read he is. It's so funny.
Yeah, he's not money smart. He's book smart.
Well, he has a grandma to teach him every story, every history.
The ancient grandma.
Yep.
Granny.
The lore keeper grandma.
Lolly Granny.
Yep. The hag granny.
The lolly hag.
Lolly hag granny.
Lolly hag.
Tonight
Lolly
on
Baba.
Untold Stories, the legend of the Lolly Gran.
The lolly gran. Be careful.
The
where you're
lolly
going.
gran.
The lolly
Make sure
gran.
you
will
leave
eat
out a
you.
bowl of taffy, or the Lolly Gran will come.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Taffy. I don't know if the gran would have the teeth to chew the taffy.
Oh, she puts in the special taffy teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh,
It's
that
when
makes
she
sense.
puts in the
Okay.
retribution teeth that you really have to watch out.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
shit.
don't wanna-
Retribution teeth.
Oh my
What does she do
God.
with that? She bite your toes?
Ow.
Maybe.
It's
No.
just those shark teeth.
Oh God.
Oh no.
The dentures
She
with
just
their
puts
shark
a
teeth.
set of Garfield's teeth on?
Yeah. She has like a whole wall of teeth for every purpose and occasion.
Imagine like a grandma that had
Yum.
like dentures, but they were grills.
Oh my God.
Grills?
Yeah.
I was thinking more of like the whale mouth teeth filters, you know?
The baleen.
Yeah, the Bailey. They just filter in.
Look,
Well-
Granny has her grill for the club. Don't you judge me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, back in the day.
with krill.
Yeah.
Granny is about to drop it like it's hot.
The pimps in the crib gonna drop it like it's hot.
Oh,
And now we get copyright struck.
Hey, I just said this.
No
out.
way.
I said
way.
one line, not even.
But yeah, George Washington with his wooden teeth. Crazy time.
The chatterers.
And then he upgraded to them ivory teeth. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Ivory
Yeah.
teeth.
Back in the day, the
Elephants died for those teeth.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
elephants.
Remember the elephants, okay?
Quickly. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, that was a joke.
Oh, quickly before I forget, a couple shout outs because I turned off our alerts. Thank you, Chilled Ice, for the super chat. And thank you, Cynics13 and Addie, for subscribing. Welcome along.
Welcome.
Yay!
All the more for the Lust If story.
For the Mayo If story.
We
Yes,
are
all
at-
of your hard-earned dollars go straight to the day in which we decide to put in all of our effort and time into making that a reality.
$601 out of 1,000 for it. Thank you.
That's
all
pretty
so
close.
much.
Man,
We're slowly
that's
creeping
pretty
forward.
close.
That's more than 50%.
That's like
Yeah.
more than 60% there.
It's
Yo.
more done than not,
Yeah.
which is scary to think. That means that we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
You ain't never gonna hear voice acting like this before.
Boom, bam.
That doesn't imply it's going to be good voice acting, though.
That's what matters.
We
Yeah,
just
I'm
promised you
imagining,
an
like-
interesting
We-
time.
we
We, didn't
actually
promise you a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm imagining every line someone is like half laughing as they say it.
See, this is why we're doing the professional one, because we're doing a pre-recorded.
Yep, exactly. So all the laughs can get out. Yeah.
Absolute professionals here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then release the outtakes later.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure. we
That's
will.
perfect.
I know Skrull would
The
be all
last is
over
like-
that.
Yeah.
The if is like it's like a 40-minute recording, and then you have like 2 hours of bloopers because everyone's laughing their asses off.
We're
We've
gonna
seen
try
the
to.
original Lustiff. It's like that.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna try to write the we're gonna try to write the lines hardest to say.
Yeah.
Ah.
Most of mine,
Oh, God.
it'll be professional. I'll just be flubbing words left and right.
Yeah.
There will be no
Um,
giggling over the content. Just, oh man, that's a mush mouth moment. Blech.
Bleh.
It's
I have a feeling we will be editing the chapter very soon. The if very soon. I think we can post on YouTube actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
why
we
not?
can't.
Right? It's
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
forgot.
It's
anything.
basically just really bad innuendos.
It's also web
Yeah.
novels. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, so we'll be on
there's
YouTube.
worse stuff that makes it past the algorithm.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
significantly
100%.
True,
worse.
Scary Pippa. That's wild.
I mean,
Peppa. Papa.
Everybody, yeah. All the ASMR channels, pretty much, you might have 50,000 views, and it's
All the YouTube Kids Elsa and Spider-Man videos.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
like.
Oh my god.
Oh,
those are
no.
out.
Amazing
Oh.
crap like that.
I'm glad I've unlocked that part of your brain that forgot, Al.
Oh no!
Oh, I knew they existed. Because I have to
Poor
keep on the
child.
lookout and make sure the
I'm getting
younger
flashbacks.
minions don't stumble along. That.
True that.
YouTube Kids is
Simply
accessible.
take away their devices.
Oh, they don't use YouTube Kids. They use my one account. I have a couple different accounts. They use my one, so that way I can see their history and where they've been.
Oh, smart.
Oh, I see.
And also,
That's really smart.
I can control a little bit, and then we can
Yeah.
ask questions like, "Hey, what was this? Let's not go there again." And they're like, "Okay."
My poor cousin learned it the
Pray
hard
they do
way
not
with
discover
his...
incognito tab.
Yeah. My cousin learned it the hard way with this kiddo. She was finding Scary Peppa. And then she started singing the monster song, like that Nightcore monster song. That's like one of my favorites.
Oh no!
She was singing it down the hall, and I was like, "Hold up!" And my cousin
How
went,
do you
"Yeah,
know that?
I control it now. Don't worry, it's fixed.
Yeah,
She's
and
not
they-
allowed."
They
I was
watch
like,
it
"Okay."
through the PlayStation on the
Poor
TV
guy.
downstairs, so
Oh, okay,
I know what they're
monitored.
doing. Yep.
So smart.
I got him on lock.
Yeah, my cousin was. He now has to watch everything with them. He's like, "God damn it." All
Made
right.
an oopsie.
Oopsies. Hey, but it's a good song. It's a bop. It's a
Oh, yeah.
bop. When
It's
she
just
sings,
not
I'm like,
for-
wow. Yeah. Not for little ones. All right. I think that is good for our stream today. Of course, we're going to chat for a little bit.
Yep.
behind the scenes,
The
but-
digression aside. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining us for our last Arc 4 session for the time being. We will see you all next week for our 4th anniversary of Studio Reverie. How we're going to break it down before we go is we are going to start by reading the chapters. So we're only going to allow in the readers first. So we'll do all 3 chapters and our analysis. And then at the end of the stream, we will have everyone join in and chat and hang out and have fun. So that's how it's going to break down.
That makes sense.
Yep. Sounds good.
Woohoo! We'll
And
see
then
you
it'll
all
be like that forever.
forever
Next
and
forever
ever.
and ever.
Next week and the next week.
It will
Until
never end.
scheduling conflict.
Yep, and then we'll come back with this. Until then, thank you everybody so much.